Hey folks, welcome back to the Mr. Global channel. Today I want to talk about Joe Biden's oil production record for 2025. And you're thinking, wait a minute, Joe Biden's not the president. No, he's not. But he is responsible for the oil production record that we're going to set in 2025. And I'm doing this video as a response to all of the Trump supporters who are responding to me saying we're going to set an oil production record this year. Because we are. Despite every single thing that has happened, job losses, rig losses, oil production continues to increase. I do question some of the numbers, but there is one chart and one set of numbers you simply cannot deny. And let's go ahead and pull that up here. It's going to slide right into the screen. You guys see that chart? Now, on that chart right there, there is a red line that just is on a downward trajectory all the way through the chart. This chart represents DUCs. What is a DUC? A DUC is a well that was drilled but uncompleted. Often when drilling activity is high, we drill more wells than we can complete, and we build up a backlog of wells. And we typically start drilling these wells either when we are legally obligated to, or when drilling slows down significantly, yet we need to maintain production. And if you look at this chart, you can see the downward trajectory of that red line. That is saying that we have completed over 500 wells since Trump took office that were DUCs. A DUC is typically classified as a well that is 6 months to a year old after it's been drilled but not completed. Sometimes it goes over a year. It gets close to 2 years. It's typically called a dead DUC. But as you can see by this chart, we have completed over 500 DUCs since Donald Trump took office. And the DUC numbers fall, and as you can see on this chart, they're falling. DUC numbers fall when oil companies are very pessimistic about the future. When oil companies are excited about the future, there's a lot of certainty, price forecasts look good. What you will see is DUC counts rise, rig counts rise, and oil production rise. It's kind of like hitting the trifecta. A sure sign of a slowing oil and gas industry is when you see DUC counts falling, rig counts falling, and oil production doing whatever. It doesn't matter what oil production is doing. When your rig counts and DUC counts are both falling, that's a sign of a weak market. And as you can see here, DUC counts, we have completed over 500 DUCs since Donald Trump took office. And what this means is that essentially all of the increases in oil production under the Trump administration has come from wells that were actually drilled under the Joe Biden administration. You see, the rig count in the United States has fallen below the threshold that is required for us to simply maintain a flat level production. We have fallen below that. So if we weren't completing any DUCs, and we were just drilling with the number of rigs we currently have, which is around 440, production would remain completely flat or fall. So there's a lot of celebration. There's a lot of talk about Donald Trump's amazing energy policies because oil production is rising. This is very similar to when oil production rose at the end of Donald Trump's second term, specifically in like 2019, after he got OPEC to crash the market. The United States lost 30% of its rig count, but our production rose because we had a big log of DUCs. You see, the thing about DUCs is when they're drilled in one year and completed in the next year, then that capital expenditure is split over 2 years. It's not all captured in 1 year. Companies still have money for activity even in down years. It's how you utilize that money that's important. And when you can utilize your cash to complete DUCs, then what you are doing is running a much smaller budget during a lean time, yet still increasing production. And that's because the CapEx that was spent to drill the wells was absorbed a prior year, different tax year. So in many ways, this is also a sort of a playing with numbers with accounting, right? DUC numbers are falling rapidly, but this will end. This will end. You see, these DUCs are going to dry up. The DUCs are going to dry up. We're going to run out of DUCs, or we'll get to a level of DUCs where oil companies are no longer comfortable utilizing them. And once that occurs, that's when we're going to see production in the United States fall, I believe, somewhat significantly. So this is, by all intents and purposes, Joe Biden's oil production record, even though Donald Trump will get credit for it, and that's fine. I just like to poke fun at the Trump supporters who think he's doing an amazing job, even though we've lost 15% of our rig count, tens of thousands of jobs, and are going to end up, handing roughly 4% of global market share back to terrorist nations. That is essentially the Donald Trump energy policy. It's the DUCs. So if anyone asks you, hey, why we have record oil production? It's the DUCs. It's the DUCs. And listen, or you could just avoid the conversation altogether because they're not going to believe you. They're not going to believe you that we're completing wells that were drilled under the Biden administration, but we absolutely are. That's how this works. This is why we keep backlogs of wells. For this very thing right here. So the story for 2025 is going to be the DUCs. The story for 2026 is going to be falling oil production. What do you guys think? You have any questions? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Really appreciate all my new followers and subscribers. Hope you learned something today. Get this out of my way. I can't hardly see what I'm doing. I think it took up half the screen, but I wanted to make sure you guys could see it. Hope you guys have a great Tuesday. I really, really cannot say enough how much I appreciate all your support. Past 100,000 followers the other day. Things are going great. Love you guys so much. Thanks again.